Yo guys, how's it going? It's Ed, bringing you all things Leeds, and welcome to my match review for Leeds United 0, Sheffield United 1 that took place at Elland Road last Saturday, and just really down after that one. Still, it hurts because it's a game where Leeds United, we were the better side and we should have won that game, or at least took a point from it. We played a better football, better than Sheffield United. We had 70% possession overall of the ball. What killed us was not taking our chances. 17 shots on goal, and 0 of them went on target. And again, just like at Bramall Lane, where we went down 1-0 due to a mistake from their goalkeeper, they've come to Elland Road and capitalised from a defensive error. But let's break it down bit by bit, shall we? Because there are quite a few talking points to go over. And starting with this team lineup, so Bielsa went unchanged, which we saw coming really, and I was fine with because we had won the previous 3 games. The big talking point was Jack Clarke, the 18-year-old winger, who had been out over recent weeks due to illness. He was back for this game. He was on the bench, and we did see him come on 77 minutes along with Stuart Dallas, and I thought Jack Clarke did really well when he came on, to be honest, and I felt as though we should have brought him on a bit earlier. But as I say, we were really, really good this game, especially in the first half. Made plenty of chances. Jack Harrison getting the best one midway through the first half when he was 6 yards out, but he skied it over the bar. Patrick Bamford, Tyler Roberts, they had their little moments as well. But there was just nothing was working for us really. Baldock for Sheffield United, I felt as though he should have been sent off after 18 minutes, and if he is, it changes the game. Because for me, his challenge on Janssen, where he loses the ball, it runs away from him, and then he jumps in the air and just lunges on Janssen to try and win it back. It's a straight red card, simple as that, end of. You see him given, and yeah, for me, it should have been a straight red. The referee only gave him a yellow card. And the referee and all the officials in this game were very, very poor, it has to be said. And I don't know if you saw the incident that happened in the Bradford City game on Saturday, but the state of officiating in the Football League is just a disgrace. It's a disgrace, and it needs sorting out because it is dreadful. But anyway, 0-0 at half-time. We should have been 3-0 up, to be honest. The second half, again, we missed some real good chances. Tyler Roberts hitting the post midway through the first half was the most agonising to watch, certainly. Bielsa, he did make a change early on in the second half. He brought on Barry Douglas for Jack Harrison on 57 minutes. Douglas went to left back, and Alioski got pushed further forward to left wing. And for me, Alioski's better as a left back, if truth be told. He's better, when he can see what's going on and he knows where to go and stuff. When he's playing further forward, I just don't think he's the same. For me, he's better at left back, and going forward, it's either Alioski or Douglas at left back. I could see why Bielsa made the change, because Alioski was getting caught out at left back, which he usually does in every game, but he still plays well and gets himself on the score sheet. And for me, Alioski is better at left back. Douglas, I thought it was really, really poor when he came on. He slowed everything down really, especially late on when we're trailing the game. We only need 1 goal to equalise, and he's running backwards, passing backwards. It was frustrating, and Douglas has been poor for quite a while, so Alioski at left back for me going forward. And then, if we were going to take Jack Harrison off, I'd put on Jack Clarke, really, and put him on the left. Or you could stick him on the right and put Pablo Hernandez on that left-hand side. I would have made that change instead. But let's move on to the goal, shall we? So Sheffield United, they launched the ball forward, and you could see what they were trying to do from minute 1, really. They were going to sit back and just nick anything they could. I think they were playing out for 0-0, but if they could get a chance, they were going to take it, which they did. Only chance of the game, really, and they score from it. So it's a long ball forward. Cooper, he doesn't deal with Billy Sharp well enough, but he gets a second chance. He gets a second chance at it. He should have lunged in and won the ball, but he didn't. And so Billy Sharp, he runs a few yards forward, finds Chris Basham making the run, who guided it past Casilla, an oncoming Casilla, and into the bottom left-hand corner. And a guy who usually plays as a centre-back scores against us, puts Sheffield United 1-0 up. Their only shot in the entire game, and it's a goal. Really disappointing. And with 20 minutes to go, it looked impossible because Sheffield United, their defence from where we were playing, I couldn't see anything really. Chaos really late on. Janssen, he hurt his knee. He could barely walk really. But we had already made our 3 substitutions by this point, so it was either Janssen plays with an injury or he goes off and we play with 10 men. And we were all saying round where we are in Southend, I'd rather Janssen go off and we play with 10 men. I'd rather play with 10 fit men than Janssen, where at the beginning he was still playing as a defender. and he looked like a liability, but worked out in the end. So Janssen, he did go further forward. He played as a striker alongside Patrick Bamford, and he did actually end up almost scoring. Actually, he had an effort that went just wide. But the next, big thing to happen though was, of course, the red card, the sending off. Another defensive error here from Cooper. Thought he had a poor game. Sharpie broke through. Casilla comes rushing out, and for me, he has to make the challenge. He does have to make the challenge, otherwise Billy Sharp is going to go around him, and it is going to be 2-0. But he goes in, takes down Billy Sharp, and the referee pulls out a straight red card for him, and I can see why the referee pulled out the red card. But for me, there's two defenders there covering. So for me, it should have just been a yellow. But I can see why the referee did give a red card. I was thinking as soon as the challenge went in, right, this is going to be a red card. But yeah, for me, it should have been yellow because there was cover, and it wasn't a malicious challenge at all. Because he had to make it. It's a professional foul, and that is why he is only out for one game, might I add, because usually it is a 3-game ban with a straight red. But Casilla, he's now only out for the Millwall game on the 30th, because there is, of course, an international break. Just a 1-game ban, as it wasn't violent conduct or a serious foul play, which is good news. I think we can all agree on that. Casilla, he's a very good goalkeeper. Just got 3 clean sheets in a row. Unfortunate here what happened. He didn't have much to do in the game at all. Just that bit of decision making really. But for me, he has to make the challenge. He really does. So we've already made our subs. Can't bring on BPF from the bench. So Janssen, he goes in goal for the last 4 minutes of added time. But Sheffield United, they see it through. They win 1-0. Fair play to them. They've come to Elland Road with a game plan and executed it, well enough. And we just weren't clinical enough at the end of the day. And it's disappointing. That's all it is. It's disappointing. I'm not dissatisfied with the performance, because I thought we were the better team and we should have come away from the game with something. So to not, it feels more than a defeat, really. It's really, really awful to take in, and really disappointing. Of course, Sheffield United, they're now going to above us in second, and we're 1 point behind them in third going into this international break. But just, remember the last time we lost just before the international break? We came back and won 7 games in a row. Not saying that's going to happen now, but that is what happens. So hopefully we can see a repeat of that. But listen, it wasn't our day. We're now relying on other teams to, if we want to go up in the top 2 and go up automatically to the Premier League. There's still 8 games left though. It's not long, but there is still 8 games, and a lot could happen in those 8 games. We're still in this. Keep believing, keep the faith. Now, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. That'd be very much appreciated. Share and subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.